Have you ever wondered why two people can put in the exact same amount of effort and get completely different results? One gets the promotion, the other gets laid off. We are taught to believe that outcomes are a direct reflection of our work. If the inputs are identical, the outputs should be too. But here's where it gets interesting. One business explodes while the other quietly folds, even when the hours, strategy, and execution are the same. This suggests that our standard success story leaves out the most significant variables. Psychologists describe this as the illusion of control, the belief that we can predict and influence events that are largely determined by chance. You can eat well and exercise daily, yet still get sick. You can be the top performer in your department and still get downsized. The uncomfortable truth is, luck and risk are siblings. They come from the same place. The unpredictable chaos of living in a world with 8 billion people making independent, overlapping decisions you will never know about. When we use our final results to judge our self-worth, we are anchoring our identity to a metric built on an illusion of predictability. Here's what psychology actually reveals. When things go well, humans have a deep need to believe it was earned. We construct narratives around our success, the early mornings, the discipline, the hustle. It creates a sense of safety in a world that often feels random. This is the fundamental attribution error. When you win, you credit your own character and ability. When you lose, you blame the situation or the bad luck of the environment. We apply the exact opposite logic to everyone else. When a colleague fails, we blame their lack of discipline. When they succeed, we're quick to say they just got lucky. This happens because of outcome bias. Your brain ignores the quality of the decision and focuses entirely on how it turned out. If someone takes a reckless gamble and wins, we call them a visionary. If they take the same gamble and lose, we call them a failure. Every human brain carries this cognitive defense mechanism. It is a hardwired shortcut used to shield our conscious minds from the unsettling weight of total chaos. Every person you admire has a graveyard of decisions that almost destroyed them. Risks they took that nearly went the other way. You just never see those because success tends to erase the evidence of the risk. Behavioral economists call this survivorship bias. We meticulously study the tiny fraction of winners while we ignore the thousands of people who made the exact same correct decisions and still failed. Media and social platforms exacerbate this by anchoring our worldview to extreme outliers. Notice how the glowing survivors sit at the absolute extreme tail of this bell curve, far from the statistical average of human experience. Studying an outlier to learn how the world works is like studying a lottery winner to learn how to manage your finances. Broad patterns reveal truth. Individual stories reveal entertainment. When you compare your behind-the-scenes reality to the highlight reel of a survivor, you're judging yourself using critically incomplete data. If we cannot control or predict our outcomes, what is actually in our power? Psychology points toward an internal locus of control, a state where you acknowledge that luck cannot be controlled, but your navigation of it can be. This requires a shift to process thinking. It means focusing your mental energy entirely on the quality of your daily decisions, your values, and your internal response when a result goes against you. True psychological resilience is the maturity to hold a difficult tension, taking absolute responsibility for your choices while detaching your self-worth from the uncontrollable results. Because these individuals expect the unpredictable, they build a margin of error into their lives. They don't just hope for the best, they account for the 20% of outcomes that rely on variables they can't see. That room for error is what separates a temporary setback from a total collapse. Agency begins when we stop judging our lives by the lottery of the result and start measuring them by the integrity of the process. One is an illusion, the other is the only thing we truly own.